Yes? Okay. Good morning. My name is Carlos. I come from Viana do Castelo, the Polytechnic of Viana do Castelo. And I hear that I have until 3 o'clock this afternoon to talk. 4 hours? Yeah? 1 hour. Okay. 1 hour is almost impossible, okay? Because I like to tell a few stories in between, and that really adds to the time. Okay, let's go on. This session, to give you an idea, we'll divide it into a bit of reminder, okay? Many times when we talk about tourism, we lose track of the basics. What do we mean? What do we want from tourism? What are the objectives? So we're going to go over the objectives of tourism, and then 4 very simple ways of achieving those objectives. Okay? First, we'll go to that, and then we'll continue on with why study experiences in tourism, why consider tourism experiences in guiding, and how to integrate experience-oriented tourism principles and the daily practices of guides. This is the title that I was asked to speak about, okay? So, first, the objectives of tourism, okay? 5 very simple objectives, okay? Attract visitors from new markets. We're always looking for new markets. We're always looking for new customers. We are always looking for potential buyers for our tourism products and our destinations. And we want them to stay longer. Okay? We want to retain the tourists where they are. So that's our second objective. Third objective, increase the money that they spend. Okay? We usually evaluate tourism not so much on the number of tourists. Okay, we like to impress with the number of tourists. Am I going too fast?
No.
Okay, is it okay? Many times we like to impress with the number of tourists, but a more efficient way of evaluating tourism is how long do people stay and how much do they spend? Because that's where we get the benefits to develop tourism locally. Okay? And extend the tourism season. Seasonality is a problem, so we want to extend the tourism season. So we have the high season. We have no problems in getting tourists. But then when the high season comes to an end, we have fewer and fewer tourists. So we have to come up with ways to convince people to come off of those peak periods. So we come up with different products like gastronomy. Gastronomy sells very well off-peak. Touring sells very well off-peak because people want to explore a destination. They want to explore a region, so they will tour throughout the territory. So we want to extend the tourism season, and we want to attract special interest tourists, okay? People that come for a special interest, they tend to stay longer, they tend to spend more money. So if I'm coming for a regular tourist coming to Portugal, for example, a leisure tourist, spends an average of 75 euros per day. The same tourist goes to Spain, spends an average of 112 euros per day. That's 50% more. So how is it that 75 in Portugal, 112 in Spain? Why so much difference? If you're coming for golf, you will spend about 250 per day. If you're coming for gastronomy, you will spend over 300 per day. So we want special interest tourists. Those are the ones that come. They are more responsible and they spend more money. Okay? So how do we achieve these 5 objectives? Very simple. Create new attractions and reasons to visit. We know why people come to Vila Real, okay? Let's come up with other reasons for them to come. Other motives for them to come, okay? A range of tourist experiences, things to see, things to do. Retain the tourist. Where I come from, Viana do Castelo, the tourist spends an average 1.7 nights per visit. 1.7. Now, that's not even an entire weekend. So they arrive Friday night, and some of them leave on Saturday. Now, we can think one of 2 things. Either there isn't much to see, I don't think that's the case, or there isn't enough information of things for them to do and things to see. Or it's not organized. Okay? If it's not available, if I don't see it somehow, it doesn't exist. Okay? So we need to retain the tourist. And usually, I do this very simple exercise with my students. The day has 24 hours. Yeah? We use 8 hours to sleep. Then let's make it very simple. 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours in the hotel. And And then, in Europe, we have all sorts of statistics. And we have statistics to tell us how much people spend around the table, how much time they spend eating, socializing around the table. And in Europe, what is the country that spends the most time around the table?
Portugal.
Exactly, okay?
But very similar with Spain.
Very similar to Spain, but Portugal is first though, okay? The Portuguese are the people in Europe that spend the most time around the table. We have a morning breakfast, mid-morning we have a snack, then we have a very long lunch, then we have an afternoon snack, then we have a very nice dinner, and then many people still have something later on before going to bed, okay? So let's say, I'm going to exaggerate a bit, but let's say 8 hours. 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours restaurants, food related. That leaves 8 hours of things to do and things to see. And if we're managing a destination, and if we don't occupy those 8 hours of time, people will leave. If they don't have anything to do, anything to see, they will leave. So we need to come up with what can they do in those 8 hours. Accommodation, we can build hotels. Food related, we can build restaurants, local producers, get everything working together. But then those 8 hours, those are crucial. If we don't get people to keep busy those 8 hours, they will leave. Okay? We need to interpret what people are seeing. Increasingly, I don't just want to know what that wall is. It's not about information. I want you to interpret that for me. Who built it? Who designed it? Why was it built? I'm very curious. Today's tourist is extremely curious. They need everything, not just information, they need interpretation of the heritage they are visiting, natural, cultural, built. They need lots of information, and they need a little story behind it. And providing diversified range of accommodation. So to achieve those 5 objectives, all you need is these 4 simple things that you need to do. That's all. I usually say that tourism is very simple. It's just a lot of work. Yeah? So, changes in tourist behavior. So, we know what we want from tourism. We know how to achieve it. Let's talk about the customer. Has tourist behavior changed along the years? In other words, what you do today, what you want from tourism today, is it what your parents wanted a few years ago? No, it has changed, okay? Now, is the change ongoing? Is it constant change? Or is today's tourist motivated by the same reasons to visit, characterized by the same consumption patterns, demands the same level of quality service? Is it the same, or are we more demanding? Are we more fussy? Or we say, no, I'm special. Ever see that commercial on television, L'Oreal, where the model says something and then says, because I deserve it? Ever see that? Yeah. Okay? Because increasingly, us, individuals, we think, I am the best. No one deserves it more than me. And so when I go on holiday, when I go on vacation, I want a perfect holiday because I deserve it. And this changes behavior, how people do things. Because I'm in it for me, more individually. It's not about the community, it's not about collectivity, it's about me. No one deserves it more than me. Anyone here feels otherwise? That you don't deserve the best? We all do. Right? We all deserve the best.
I think the persons among the years, they will change the aspects.
Well,
if I want to go now to Azores because of the sun, and maybe in 20 years, maybe I want to go to see nature, and then I can go to another place.
So things change.
Yes.
I'm going to show an image that next. I wasn't sure whether or not I should show it, okay? Because I'm sure that most of you, 90% of everybody saw that image. It had to do with global warming. I changed it. I changed the title. Proof that change does occur, okay? And this is proof that change does occur. What you are saying, we change? Yes, we do. We change in textile. 18th century, as we go along, we see what we dress. Now, my only concern, you know what it is? This was in 2006. My concern is presently. That's my concern, okay? But positive proof of change, you can see, if we change in how we dress, we change in terms of what we want on holidays. Okay? And here also, let's cultural destinations, okay? Because in touring, we're dealing a lot about culture. Let's go back a few years. 1980s, we had something called heritage tourism. Right? Heritage tourism. That symbol of the Japanese tourist coming with a camera, and they would go somewhere and take a picture. And he was very happy because I took a picture of the Eiffel Tower. So off he goes. He saw Paris. He saw the Eiffel Tower. He's leaving. Just to see, just to observe. That was enough. 1990s come along, and all of a sudden we want to observe and we want to engage. We speak more about cultural tourism. Okay? And a bit of, okay, not just observe and engage, but I want to learn a bit. Then early 21st century, something else comes along called creative tourism. And I think that you just heard from Susanna. Susanna, by the way, was my student, undergraduate and from the master course. Okay? She did her master dissertation on creative tourism. I was her supervisor. So, 21st century comes along. We want to see, we want to do, we want to learn, and it has to be entertaining. In other words, where I'm going, I want to see, I want to do something, I want to learn with what I am doing and what I am seeing, and it has to be entertaining. I want to have fun. Anyone does not want to have fun when they're on holidays? We all want to have fun, right? The tourists that we are servicing, they want to have fun. It's our responsibility to make sure that they have fun. So we want to get them engaged to do things. And today we want to, again, things change. We want to see, we want to do, we want to learn with what we are seeing and doing, we want to be entertained, we want to co-produce, I want to sit side by side and do things with the local resident, and increasingly we want to establish relationships. We want to not only do things with the local people, I want to know that woman's name, I want to know how many kids they have, I want her to know how many children I have, I want to establish a relationship. That's what motivates me as a tourist increasingly. So we are seeing all these changes. And when I present this to municipalities, I ask the local mayor, okay, now, honestly, tell me, which decade does your municipality fall in? Are you running tourism that was 30 years ago? Or are you running tourism based on what people are looking for nowadays? Because things change, and it's changing very, very much. So, the old model is started eroding a long time ago. The classic model of tourism started eroding a long, long time ago. We heard in 1993, 1989 actually, Poon mentioned for the first time new tourists. People don't want to get away from standardization. They want what is different. Okay? So get away, tourism undergoing significant changes and facing new challenges that call for new perspectives. So this is us, tourism professionals saying, okay, tourists change, their behavior has changed, and we either change with them or we stop being competitive. What has been contributing to this change? There's three major factors. One is demography. Second is health and well-being. And third is technology. These are three factors that has been changing tourism considerably. The demography has to do with, we have an aging population. In Europe, we have an aging population. In Portugal and Spain, it's worse than the European average. Spain, from the last numbers I saw, is supposed the most aging country in the world. People just don't, families are not being constituted because people don't have a job, they don't feel secure, they don't feel confident to get married, or enter into a relationship, to have children, so we stop having offspring. Okay, and that is happening in many countries. Portugal, for example, we are about 10 million inhabitants, 10 million people. 2030, it's expected that we will be 8 million. 13 years from now, we'll lose 2 million people. 2050, we are expected to be 6 million. Almost half of what we are now. Okay? So,
this is, sorry, can we?
Sure, yeah.
This is not counting with maybe migrants.
No, who's abroad doesn't count. People living in Spain, people living in Portugal.
Because, for example, Spain had lost population.
To migration.
Last year, it was not because of gross income of migrants.
No, we in Portugal we lost many people. Also, my oldest, that's my youngest daughter back there. My oldest daughter went to the United States for 2 years. So she decided to come back. Some decide to come back if they don't stay there long enough, because once they get used to, adjusted to the local culture, they will not come back. They will come on holidays, but they will not return. So we have this situation in which we have people leaving the country at a time when we need people to stay in the country. Okay? And this affects tourism. Okay? So demography, and with the aging population, we think a lot about health and well-being. We want to eat more healthy food. I never saw so many people walking at night or before, after dinner, or in the morning jogging or going to the gymnasium. People want to have a more healthy lifestyle.
Hanging in ropes, or even.
Yeah, they want to be physically active, bicycle. They want to, because we are thinking about being more healthy. Okay.
Yes, but in Pova, Brazil, a lot of people as going jogging
along the beach,
and going walking.
Yeah.
See too many people.
You see people coming in groups because they feel that, thinking healthy, and that changes quite a lot. That changes our food patterns, our gastronomy, that changes our habit, that changes everything, and that changes tourism. Okay? And also technology. Okay? Technology is also changing the way we do things. Okay? Globalized world in which challenges are presented by the digital world. We are, and if you follow Facebook, the other day was I think it was a Chinese couple, something like that, and they were going with their child, about 3 years, let's say 6 years old. Not even, let's say 5 years old, going to buy an iPad. And the salesperson behind the counter said, I cannot sell you that iPad. Why not? Because your son only when turns 18. Until then, he's not allowed to have an iPad. It was a bit, exaggerated. Okay? But the idea is, what they're trying to get across is, don't let your children use the iPads. Don't let them use technology. Why? Because, this is a typical family gathering, yeah? At your home, it used to be the parents, the children, the food, smiles, talking to one another, okay? A few years ago, okay? Is this what we have now? Because we seem to not be able to get away from technology. With young people, it's like technology is part of their body. It's like an arm. You can't live without it. Anyone here doesn't have iPad or iPod or computer or mobile phone, or not mobile phone, smartphone. Is that what you call it nowadays, smartphone? Yeah, okay.
I just use a smartphone.
Do you use a computer?
Yes.
I rest my case. Okay. We all are linked to technology.
Not in the meals. The meals, the computer and the cell phone stays in the room or stays in the living room.
Many people try to do that. Increasingly, it's more difficult.
But I do that.
But yeah, but increasingly, this is what we see, because we depend very much on technology. Okay, so technology is linked to new consumers, as Poon mentioned also back in 1989. They still want more, but they are defining that a bit differently. Okay? Now they seek more meaning, more deeply felt connections, more substance, more control, and a greater sense of purpose. They are looking for relationships. Now, this is some images to exemplify what I am saying. Let me put all three. This is a bit, I deserve it, a bit of, I'm not perfect, but I'm a limited edition, because we feel special. Okay, I'm not perfect, but I am a limited edition, okay? And this is one of my students, the second-year student, said, okay, where would I like to go? And here, everything in life passes except my wish to travel. Okay? Everything in life passes, but not my desire to travel. And here is my student saying, okay, Paris, Madrid, London, because nowadays, especially this generation, if you follow the Y generation, they want to travel. Statistics came out about Portugal also, that this young generation, they are thinking more about travel. They would rather spend money on travel than buy an apartment. The former generation, their parents, what they were thinking is, okay, we have to work, save money, buy a house, buy an apartment. Nowadays, forget the apartment, we'll rent. We want to travel. So this changes the patterns of tourism.
Is that sign now real? Is that...
It is, yeah. Taken in Spain.
In Spain?
Yep. She was on doing internship. Okay.
Where? You know where?
That I'm not sure. This one knows Ramblas in Barcelona, okay? I took this picture, okay? The selfie culture, okay? Remember the Japanese tourists take a picture, okay? Imagine nowadays, take a picture and put it on Facebook. Not anymore. We have to be in the picture, okay? I have to put my face, so we got this long stick, so we can be included in the picture. Because it's not just about including, okay, so I'm taking a picture of all of you saying, we are in Villarreal. Oh, whoopee-doo, but how about me? I'm out of the picture. I want to be in the picture, so I have to go on that side, take the picture, and they say, so this is me with all these people in Villarreal, because I need to be part of the group. I need to be part of the group. So we have this need, increasing need, and we only take pictures of things that are beautiful. Again, that puts pressure on the tourist destination because we have to make the destination beautiful. If you have a village that's in ruins, you need to make it nice because people want to take pictures in it, and they're not going to take a picture of buildings that are in ruin. The colors, we have to be very careful. Bright colors, because the picture has to be beautiful. It's all about the selfie. Huh? You go anywhere, that's what you say. Look on Facebook when someone puts something on there. Do they take pictures of someone? No, they take pictures of them with someone else.
Or they take pictures alone.
What's that?
Or they take pictures just for them.
Just for them. But when they put it on social media, they want to show their face as well. Because they have a need to have some kind of relationship with other people. Increasingly, we have a need to establish relationships, but not the kind that results in children, right? Because that is expensive. And people are not confident about their future, so they do not risk entering that sort of relationship. So they want other forms of relationship. Tourists are getting bored. So all this is going on. If we are not good at what we do in selling tourism, providing what they are looking for, they're going to be bored. Same experiences, same hotels, all the same attractions, same excursions, destinations they've been to before. They're looking for something different, okay? Now, because they're looking for something different, it's suggested that the way that we segment markets, that has changed. Because before we would say, okay, where do they come from? Okay, they come from the UK. Okay, so we segment English, French, Spanish. That doesn't work anymore. Okay? The rise of psychographic segmentation. New buyers are becoming more and more enlightened and demanding when it comes to tourism. They are looking for something else. And that something else is lifestyles. Increasingly, we are very much interested in what other people do, other cultures. I never had, in my course, I'm the coordinator of the tourism course in Vienna. I never had so many students interested in going abroad. Everyone wants to go abroad. They want to meet people from different cultures. And this is what's happening with tourists as well. When they go somewhere, they want to meet local people, different ways of doing things. They know how things are at home. They want to do how things are elsewhere. So people are becoming as important as places. Because before, Remember 1980s, 1990s, heritage tourism, culture tourism, the buildings, the monuments, the castles, the palaces, the main squares. Nowadays, it's about people. You go to a palace, if there are no people there, why should I go there? There's no one there. I go to a main square. And Spain has, you go to any town in Spain, and it has beautiful squares. But if there are no people there, why should I go there? We need increasingly, tourists want to see what do local people do in that space.
May I ask you something? Why do travel agencies keep selling this kind of tourist experiences?
Which type?
The ones, the main travel agencies that I know in my country, Abreu, Atlântico, they all sell the same destinations.
Same packages, same destinations.
Since I was a child until now, they sell the same experiences.
Okay, when you go to a travel agency or tour operator, what they will have are organized packages, which is easier for them to sell. They make it's easy because they can sell in more quantity. What you can do is go to the same agency and say, okay, forget that package, I want something just for me. A bit of what I was saying earlier, because I deserve it. I want something different from other people. Increasingly, we do not want to be large crowds. We want to be smaller groups, okay? With people like-minded, people that think like we do. Increasingly, that's what we wanted to do. So you either go to these agencies and say, forget that set package, that's for other people. I want something personal, and they will do something personal for you. Or you go to tour operators that they specialize in personalized tours. Okay, but increasingly, we are seeing those changes occurring.
I have an example. I have a tour company in Greece, and I have been visiting the ITB travel market in Berlin. And I had a meeting with a German tour operator, a big German tour operator, and he was actually telling me, this representative of the tour operator, that they as a big tour company that is used to do big groups of, the classic routes and everything, now they are trying to change their product because they see that there is no interest for big groups, and they try to do smaller groups, special interest groups, and also do tailor-made for specific interest. Even the big tour operators, they are trying to differentiate their product.
Italy is a destination that works very nicely. They have specialized tour operators. They will do personalized, what they call personalized tours, which is, they just change the name of the customer, basically, okay? But if you can even have your own chef cooking just for you, okay? It doesn't happen, but they like to think that it is, okay? But this is because we want to feel special. And increasingly avoid large groups. Increasingly, when we go on holiday, we do not want to go in large groups. Very few people.
I have some difficulties on selling my products, which are all customized, tailor-made, to that kind of agencies in Portugal. And for example, I sold a product to Belgium, who wanted experiences like living as the locals.
Yeah.
And here, for example, Abreu, Alcón, Viajes, Top Atlântico, they didn't even look at my suggestions.
No, because
they were not interested.
No, because their customer base.
Where is Monte Alegre, Pitões de Júlias?
Yeah. No, those are operators that they work with large numbers, large quantities. And when we work with this type of tourists, special interest tourists, we're talking about working with specific segments of the market. People that want to come for the gastronomy, okay? So we're going to work with people that the main motivation to visit Vila Real would be for the food. A very specialized market, okay? But the point that you're getting across, Copenhagen was a very good example. If you saw their promotion last year, I have an image, so I'll say it in a few minutes. Okay.
I see the case of Maya. They receive some emails, and they create activities and some reasons to stay. When they come from the airport, they give brochures of Maya to people to stay there, to give more, to stay with more tourists. Because when the people get to the airport, they go to Porto.
Oh, we know that.
Go to Maya.
Yeah.
The airport is in Maya, so now they are creating workshops, making brochures, making seeing attractions, what they have, and to get tourists to stay more than few hours.
If you're coming from abroad and you're coming to Porto, you have two things in mind: either the Baixa, the downtown, okay, by the Douro River, or the Douro, up the Douro. That's what you know in coming to Porto. If you want me to go to Maia, or to Viana do Castelo, or to Braga, or to Guimarães, or to Vila Real, then you have to communicate with me and tell me that you exist. Because if I don't know that Vila Real, it doesn't exist. So you have to communicate that with me. But that's
I think we have to promote not just Porto, Lisboa, and Algarve. I think we have to promote all
that's
countries, because
I'm going to cut you off. I'll tell you why. We're going a totally different direction away from what I'm supposed to be teaching. That destination management, that's a whole different story, and that can lead to another discussion. Let's continue this part. Okay. So tourists are looking for new experiences. Okay. They want new types of accommodation, and in Portugal, for example, is a very good example. A few years ago, we had the traditional 5-star hotel, 4-star hotel, 3-star hotel, pensão, residencial, and that was it. Very simple. Nowadays, you have, we're even thinking about doing away with the stars in the hotels. No more 5 stars, 4 stars, just hotels. Okay? We have boutique hotels, design hotels, thematic hotels, chocolate factory turned into a hotel, a design hotel. I will tell you a very nice story about a design hotel, but pretty soon Veronica's going to tell me that we have to go to lunch. So no story, okay?
Other activity, still another activity.
Another activity, okay. Okay, I won't tell the story. It was a very nice story. Next time, I'll come back, okay. But we have also, and now we have something else called alojamento local, local accommodation, which really revolutionized, especially in the urban areas. You go to the city centers where we used to have difficulty in renovating those buildings because the owner didn't feel that it was a good investment. Now they see it's a good investment because they can turn it into a local accommodation, get tourists, and make lots of money. So all of a sudden, it's not the state paying for it, it's the private sector paying to restore the urban areas, okay? And we get new types of accommodation. You go to a rural area, you have country homes, casa de campo, the village tourism, the turismo, all sorts of accommodation. So new types of accommodation because the new tourist wants also the experience to be in the accommodation. New types of leisure activity, things to do, things to see, come up with something new. Something different. New destinations, new ways of buying products, so new trends, new markets. So this is what tourists seem to be telling us. Okay? So tourism today is beyond selling people airline seats, hotel rooms and tours. It is about meeting a lifestyle need of people. Like, I want to learn about how other cultures live. Okay? It is about fulfilling people's beautiful dreams. That makes the people who work in tourism somewhat different. They become dream sellers. We sell dreams. If you want to be successful in tourism, people, when they go on holiday, they have this high expectation. They have this dream of a beautiful holiday. It's our responsibility to meet those expectations. People are dreaming, and we have to help them achieve that dream. Here.
Please, I want to take a picture of British. Thank you. I like it. Okay. Thanks.
These are my students in Venice. We went there on a study visit. Today's travelers select destinations, tourist attractions, cultural components, and travel products. However, what they crave for are UFEs, unforgettable experiences, creating new memories. Okay, so we're slowly getting into this thing about experiences. Okay, and everywhere you go, these are pictures that I also took. This was in Brussels. Come, get closer, stay a while, and experience the way you deserve to be treated. See that marketing strategy? Because you deserve it. It applies in tourism. Here it is to sell a hotel. Here, the ultimate coffee experience. Okay, this is a hotel restaurant. what experience do you have with drinking coffee? Better yet, Lavazza, the real Italian espresso experience. Espresso Italian coffee is, it's a little bit at the bottom of the cup. You drink it in 2 seconds. So where's the experience? But it sells because all of us are saying, we're looking for an experience. So what if I go to Italy, I want to get, he's Italian. So you get the Italian coffee, a little bit of coffee at the bottom of the cup, you drink it in 2 seconds. Where's the experience? But it sells. Okay? More experiences here. The learning experience. This is a kindergarten, preschool. The learning experience. This is at a bank. What experience can you get at a bank? Okay? Or at a tram. Well, a bad one, exactly. You can get a bad experience at a bank, okay? But experience sells because this is what people are looking for, no matter what they're looking for. No matter what. No matter if it's a bank, if it's education, if it's transportation, if it's tourism. We are all looking for experiences. Okay? So, experiences it's basically stimulating multiple senses. I took this picture in Madeira last year. It says, Madeira, 5 senses. See, it's supposed to be here, not ear. Okay, it's supposed to be here. Okay, smaller. See, hear, smell, touch, taste, because they know that's what sells. It's not just about drinking the poncha. It's not just, because you can do that anywhere. I went to this little place in, I don't know the end of the town, and they said, the king of the ponchas, we make the best poncha in the world. So of course I had to try. I mean, a slogan like that, we make the best, when you say you make the best, everyone wants to try it, so okay. And then the person does it in front of you, and he puts it in, and then, oh, would you like a bit? So he's doing a personal poncha for me. I feel great. It probably was lousy poncha, but he convinced me that was the best. So it's about meeting these multiple senses. The feelings of flow of feelings and thoughts, they include physical surroundings, social surroundings, and other consumers. Increasingly, it's about social surroundings, social spaces, remember the main squares, unless there are people sitting there. Sometimes we criticize a person that goes to a cafe, sits there, and is there for 2 hours drinking a cup of coffee. 2 hours. I don't know about Spain, in Portugal, we still do it. For the owner of the cafe, it was like, gee, I wish they would leave the table so someone else could live there. But it's the social aspect that brings people there in the first place. So if we lose this, it's like when we speak about pilgrimage routes. We have the route, but if you take away the pilgrims, it's no longer a pilgrimage route. Right? So pilgrims are part of the product. They're part of what we expect to see there. Okay? So interaction of the consumer with the physical environment and with the hosts. Experiences appeal to higher order needs of satisfaction and motivation. Okay? We are all looking for top standards. We're looking for perfection. We are very demanding. Whatever service you provide me, I expect it to be perfect. Increasingly, that's what we expect. And young people, they're like, wait a minute. You can't do that. When something doesn't happen with quality, they question it. Because the expectation is, it's supposed to be perfect. That's what's being expected. And that's the sort of customer that we have. They're looking for perfection. Quality of service experience delivered. Satisfaction has been commonly understood as the outcome of tourist experiences. Create lasting memories that a visitor will reminisce about and will share in their social networks. I want the fantastic experience that it's not just for me, I need to share it. It's not just enough that I'm happy because I participated in it. I have to make sure that other people know that I had that experience.
What do you think is that?
Freud will probably have a good answer.
Does this also have to do with all this social media obsession of people? They expose themselves?
Well, we have the channels. We have the channels, and we have increasingly access to all this information. And the more information we have, the more demanding we become. Okay? The more educated we are, the more demanding we become. So the more information that we process, the more demanding we become. And then I want to do things, and then as I become more and more aware of things, I want to be different from others. I want to stand out. And to stand out, I need to others to see me standing out. So if you are away, I need to have a means of showing you that I am successful, I am having a wonderful time, I am at a destination that you wish you could be there. I need to show it to you because I have that need. Okay, you can go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs and see, okay, so we're getting to a point that up here that the needs are changing. So should we flip that around? Because many times we probably have a higher need of other people knowing us than actually having the basic needs. Maybe we should flip that around. Maybe it doesn't make sense anymore. So experiences place local people, landscapes, resources, and past and present signs of local identities in contact with territories. So a pilgrimage route, okay? Two different motivations. One related to the emotional experience of its visitors. The other related to the destination's route characteristics, okay? So even pilgrimage routes, you have to think they're not all the same. People go there do the pilgrimage for the different reasons. Here, two pictures. I took this one in Bulgaria and took this one just outside of Boston, the United States. In terms of tourism perspectives, what's the difference? Well, here, normally I would ask you to try and give me an answer, but given the time, I need to push this. Okay. Here you have someone working in their workshop. They're making something, and people pass by the window outside, and in my case, I came in through the door and took a picture and left. What did I buy? Zero. Nothing. Here, you have the local craftsperson working with a local girl, a local child, and guess what? Who here has children? Who is a parent? If your daughter or your son makes something, are you going to leave it there? You're going to buy it. They know that. So they're working the family market. Parents, young children. Okay, forget the parents. We want the young children here. They're the ones that are going to spend money. Okay? And we're going to make them do things. And they'll do a piece of craft. So instead of selling it for 10 years, I'll sell it for 50. Because no parent will want the child crying, oh, because I'm going to take that one. Am I correct? So we have to say, because we want to be engaged. The child is attentive, she's engaged, she's learning, and then at the end she says, I did it, I want to take it with me. Here, you just see someone working. See the difference? Many times when you take tourists to buy a craft, okay. But it's okay, we're going to spend half an hour here, 1 hour here, and you're going to make your own craft. Once you made it, you will want to buy it. Same thing with show cooking, or those. You go into a restaurant, you have 20 people sitting there, and you have a chef show cooking, okay? And it's okay, now you come over and you put a bit of spice, and then you come up, so everyone is involved. And at the end, okay, now you learn how to make the paella. Now if you want to eat it, it's another 20 euros. And because you made it, you want to try it. So you pay to learn how to make it, okay, you can leave. But I helped them, now I want to try it, so okay, another 20 years. It's a question of getting people to engage, to do things. And that has to be entertaining, remember? What we get people to do, it has to be entertaining. So tourism is basically experience, okay? Less interested in sightseeing and more interested in experiences, the living culture and everyday life of the destinations. Sensations, memories, that's what tourists increasingly are looking for. From Tourism Australia, tourism experiences generated by the people met, places visited, activities participated in, and memories created from travel, particularly through watching, tasting, smelling, touching, listening to, and being part of a cultural lifestyle that is distinctly different from everyday life. That's what people are looking for. Australians are very good at doing this. Canadians, Nova Scotia, that area, they're experts in this. It's a fishing industry is the most predominant in Newfoundland, that area there. And they decided to diversify to tourism. It's okay, not just tourism, experiential tourism. They are very, very good at it. Because once you land there, they pamper you so much. They will treat you so nicely. You will feel like the most important person in the world.
Where is that?
Newfoundland in Canada. They're very good at it. And they then relate all that to fish, to the fishing industry. Very, very popular. Okay. Increasing destinations are promoting experiences and not so much products. Why? Increasingly, destinations are promoting experiences, and we are taught when we study that, okay, how do we build the product? Okay, developing products, managing products. Well, now destinations will say, forget the products. Let's come up with experiences. Why? Well, what is the difference between a tourism product and a tourism experience? Normally, I would ask that I will pass, I will go forward, okay. A tourism product is what you buy. A tourism experience is what you remember. Okay? I want to remember the visit to Villarreal. I want to visit the visit to Cáceres. I want to visit. And if it's just a product, okay, I paid for a product, I had it, okay. So, but it's about remembering the memories, the sensations. That's what we are looking for nowadays, okay? So it could be the landscape. Tourists want to feel they are in a place that is unique. Okay. Could be with popular culture. This is very popular in Viana do Castelo, popular culture. It could be with local products. More than an activity, it's a way of life. Okay. Another very nice story that I'd like to tell you about picking strawberries. My daughter was there a few years ago. Very nice story, but Veronica won't let me. Okay. So we'll next time. Okay.
You still have 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I thought you were going to say half an hour. No. Okay, 10 minutes. I will be okay. No story. People will buy the local product if they see that the local people use it. In other words, why should I go to Villarreal, buy the Barcelos rooster, o galo Barcelos? Okay, I don't see anyone using that in Villarreal. Why should I buy it? What I want to buy is something that local people use, because it's not about buying a piece of ceramic, it's about taking a piece of culture with me. Okay, that's the difference nowadays. Okay. Experiences with food, and food is hot. Right now, everything we do about entertainment, or in Italy, they ever see that their promotion nowadays is Italy, E-A-T, Italy. I have it forward, okay? It's all about food is something that sells very well and makes wonderful experiences. Okay? Accommodation, accommodation, okay? Get in villages, redundant buildings, and turn them into self-catering accommodations or manor houses. I want to go here, and I want, okay, think about going to the countryside in the village. You want to stay at a traditional home. You look at it, stone, granite, you look at it, okay, I'm convinced that is a traditional building. And I want to be in a traditional building. But then you go inside and you have to have microwave and hot water, cable, okay, you have to have internet, okay. All these modern things that they're not traditional.
But now I have a traditional house, and we have to put television.
Yeah.
Not Wi-Fi, just telephone and cable.
Why do we do that? Because I had to cut you off. It's her fault. Because people will want to stay in a traditional building, but they will not abdicate from the level of comfort they are used to at home. If I'm used to having a comfortable bed, I'm used to watching television, I'm used to what I am used to, I will not abdicate from that level of quality. of comfort. So when I step inside that house, it has to have all those modern conveniences because I need to feel comfortable. Okay? And storytelling. One of the most powerful and important tools for establishing a relationship is storytelling. And again, this is Madeira. Story center. They have a center to tell you stories about Madeira because they know it sells. People want to establish a relationship with Madeira because once you establish a relationship with someone, you'll go back. You're attached, okay? You need to go back. You have a need to go back to because you have a relationship with that person or that destination, okay? Storytelling is about telling stories with a message that is turned to the values of the tourists. Stories have entertaining value. And exposed to stories communicating various media. So telling stories is a very nice way of getting people to interpret your heritage, establishing relationships, getting people to learn about what they are seeing and doing, possibly even getting them engaged because then once they know the story behind an activity, they will want to do it as well. So storytelling is increasingly very, very popular with tourists. So if you're a tour guide, you need to start thinking about some wonderful stories about your destination. Okay, engaging visitors with hosts is more than just common sense. Articulate tangible and intangible heritage. So if I go to a market, it's not about the fruit and the vegetables, it's about the local culture, the local people being in that space. Okay? Heritage more to do with social bond, doing things together. So all these activities in the rural areas, people want to get involved. These are tourists here. Oh, these are locals dancing, and then the visitors are saying, I want to do it as well. These are things that the northern porch is very common, the threshing of the wheat and so on. So all this, see that the smile, and if you go on this person's Facebook, most likely it's on there because he needs other people to see that he was doing this. It's an experience. And the experience means that other people have to see that I was involved in that experience. But in doing so, you're also, each tourist, when they put something on Facebook, they're actually doing tourism promotion of your destination. Right? They're getting other people to know. So, oh, if you did that, I want to go there next year and do it as well. Increases social relationships associated to heritage. More playful. We are living a culture of entertainment. We want to be entertained. Everything. In my class, my lectures, for example, I know students on that side, if I'm not exciting, they'll be bored. They'll fall asleep. I'll lose them in the first 10 minutes. So I have to be, even teachers have to be entertainers in order to maintain the attention of the students. If that doesn't happen, they won't be paying attention. They will not learn anything. Because we are living a culture of entertainment. We need to be entertained at all times. Not so much the meal, but the mingling with the hosts. This is a very, very fast story. This lady here is from Latvia. And we are having this meal in Baku in Azerbaijan. And this is Kirill from Bulgaria. And why are they smiling? Such a simple thing. For example, she is used that in her country, the water is served in a glass pitcher. She found it fascinating that they were serving water in a clay jug. And for half an hour, we're taking pictures of the clay jug, and everyone wants to be with a clay jug, drinking water. A clay jug, which is a very simple thing. The very simple things that we have at the destination we are trying to sell, the very simple things is what the tourists are looking for. We in Portugal have this tendency to build huge investments, which we then call elefantes brancos, or white elephants, because we build these huge things, and then we don't know what to do with them. Tourism is about simple. Remember Schumacher, small is beautiful? Keep it small, keep it simple. That's what the tourists today are looking for. Okay? So, restaurants, tell me a story about the restaurant. It's not just about the food. We talk about gastronomy. I tell my students 5 elements in gastronomy. Good food, good wine, good service, good atmosphere, and good friends. You get those 5 elements together when it relates to tourism. You get those 5 elements together, and you have gastronomy. It's not just about the food. The food is essential, but it has to have other elements in order for the customer to have an experience. They will not have an experience just with the food. That is not sufficient. So innovation, we hear much about innovation. In tourism, we have 4 specific areas: product innovation, process innovation, organizational innovation, or market innovation. This is what we work. This is what I teach in the master course in Vienna, the tourism innovation. And this is what we need to focus on. And this innovation is a lot with these experiences as well. So, ruralization of the urban areas, okay? If the people in the city don't have time to go to the villages, we bring the villages to the city. So increasingly, we see farmers' markets in the cities. We come up, this was taken in northern England, a food hall, okay? Like I said, food sells very well. So if you bring food from rural areas to the urban areas, people will flock to go there because they have that need. Remember, they think healthy and well-being. They want healthy things, and everything that comes from the countryside is healthy. This is how people think. Anything coming from the rural areas is healthy. So if you bring food from the farmers to a market, people will come and they will buy everything. The restaurants, okay? Remember, atmosphere. We need to have a very nice atmosphere. Here I was at this restaurant in Georgia, and the waitresses, all of a sudden, they stopped serving, they got together, and they sang. They were singing for the customers. And we found it fascinating. They have very nice voices, too. And as we walked in, they not only have the bread they place on the table, they make their own bread. And it's not in the back, it's in front. As you walk in the front door, there's the baker baking the bread, and you look at it and say, oh, this is great. It's the atmosphere. The experience starts the moment that you walk into the door, with the baker right in front of you making the bread that you're going to be having on your table. The same restaurant, they are singing for you. So the restaurant, it's not just about the food, it's creating a very nice experience during those, because you can go to a restaurant and half an hour you can have dinner. Okay? In a restaurant, it's like a tourist going to a destination. We want to retain you. The longer you stay, the more money you spend. You will have another bottle of beer or another bottle of wine. You will have coffee. You will have dessert. You will have the after dinner drink. But if you leave quickly, you won't spend anything. You eat, 5 minutes. Okay. You eat and you leave. So we need to retain, and retaining is about the experiences. Okay. Aesthetics has to look beautiful. Remember? For the selfie, it has to look beautiful. I will not put something on Facebook that is not beautiful. So we have to think the places that we have, the spaces that we have our destination, we need to paint them, the walls, in the very nice bright colors, because that's what comes through in a picture on Facebook. Hotels in Porto, they hire designers to design the rooms better and the entire hotel, so people have an experience in the hotels. So hotels in Porto are hiring designers to make the spaces more comfortable, more experiential, okay? And that is happening also in shopping centers in the Algarve, and this is in the States. Tourists liking the smell of things in Colorado. The smell of things, okay? This is a shopping center, okay? Experiences on leisure and shopping. So we see this happening everywhere, okay? Good food, great people, amazing experiences. Portuguese Table Initiative, where you can book, you can call, there's a website, and you say, okay, I want to go to the house of the chef, and the chef will cook for 4 of us. So I will have the chef all to myself that evening. Of course, you're going to pay quite a bit of money, but you will be eating at the chef's home. He will be cooking specifically for you and no one else in his dining room. So this is something that's becoming very popular. Okay, the Italy, see that? Instead of the I, Italy, okay? Very, very successful. Because it sells, because anything related with food, great for experiences. The end of tourism, this is what I was saying about Copenhagen. They launched this last year saying, okay, the end of tourism as we know it. We no longer have tourists. People are coming to Copenhagen. They are temporary residents. They're no longer tourists. They are temporary residents. They are one of us, even though they are only here temporarily. So the person going feels a bit different. Okay, I'm not a tourist. Great. I'm a resident. I'm a local. They already feel more part of the local culture. A very good campaign by Copenhagen. Fantastic. Went all over the world, people using it as a case study because they're saying, we are going to treat people coming to us differently. We want people to feel like they are a local. They're not tourists. So, coming to an end, does the tour tell us, in your case, if you are in tours, does it tell a story? Okay. Are market segments well identified? Do you know who you target? Again, to avoid a bit of Abreu and these big operators, okay, do you know who your customer is? Because you want to work with special interest tourists, those coming for nature or gastronomy or specific areas in which you can do a personalized tour. Okay? How is your tour communicated to a potential buyer? Have you identified and developed visitor experiences that differentiate your tour? What experiences can people undertake during the tour that you're promoting? If you just, okay, you go and see this, you go and see that, you go and see, boring. Right? Tourists are getting bored. They want something different. Get storytelling. Get them to do things. Instead of visiting 4 places throughout the morning, visit 2. But get them involved, engaged in doing something. Does the tourism infrastructure support the needs of the tourists? Is there a general willingness to provide exceptional services and experiences to visitors? Which resources, stories, events, and perspectives accurately represent the community's history and associated culture along the route? Which should be further developed? So you have to think about the resources along the route. What can you use, further develop, to create the experiences? What opportunities have you identified to expand recreational activities and experiences? Remember, added value is the experience and not the product. Purchase the culture behind the product item and not the item itself. I want to buy something from the Mateus from Villarreal because I know that there's a story behind Mateus wine in Villarreal. I can go to the place where it is supposedly made, and there's a story behind it. And I'm taking something that is part of the local culture. It's not the wine. I can buy the wine when I get to wherever I'm going. Because Mateus, by the way, is the most widely sold wine in the world.
Of course, it's mine.
It's yours.
His name is Mateus.
Okay. So based on what you have learned so far, what changes would you make to your existing tour? So these would be questions that I would normally ask students to answer. But she won't let me. In developing tourism, what needs to be the priority? And this I always finish with because, and this I will ask you. What needs to be the priority? Selling? Why?
Because to tourism you need to sell.
Why? Why do we need to sell? To survive. Why? Who needs to survive?
I need.
Who?
I need to.
The local people?
We all do.
Sometimes we forget the reason why we develop tourism. We develop tourism because we want people that live locally to have some kind of a better life. Have some kind of an income. So we develop tourism to benefit the local people. So the priority has to be the local people. And many times we lose track of that. We think the customer, the tourist. No, think the local person. Why? Because who facilitates the experiences to the visitors? The local people. They're the ones that are going to provide the experience. So if they are benefiting, if they are happy, if they have a smile on their face, the tourists will have a smile on their face. If the local people are not smiling, believe me, the tourists will not be smiling either, because they will not be having a very nice experience. So local people should be the priority. Questions? If not, thank you so much.
Welcome.